The Galactic Council chamber floated in geosynchronous orbit above Centauri Prime, a crystalline structure that had witnessed 10,000 years of diplomatic discourse. Today, it witnessed something far less civilized: panic. Ambassador Thelrix of the Covenant world slammed 3 of his 4 manipulator appendages against the podium, his bioluminescent skin flashing distress patterns. The Devourers have taken the Epsilon sector. 17 colony worlds. 43 billion souls. Gone in 6 stellar cycles. Murmurs rippled through the assembled delegates. The Devourers, a machine intelligence that consumed entire star systems for raw materials, had been a theoretical threat for centuries. 3 years ago, they'd become horrifyingly real. The first warning had been the disappearance of an automated mining outpost. Then a research station. Then an entire moon. Now they were consuming inhabited worlds. The VRYNN battle fleets can't hold them, continued Thelrix, his translator struggling to convey the desperation in his harmonic speech. We need reinforcements. Military commitments from every member species. We're not just losing battles, we're losing the war. Fleet Commander Zarkesh of the VRYNN Empire stood, her chitinous armor clicking as she moved. The VRYNN had been the galaxy's preeminent military power for 3 millennia. They'd never lost a war. Until now. Our fleets engaged them with honor, Zarkesh said, her mandibles tight with barely contained frustration. We used traditional warfare doctrine. Flanking maneuvers, concentrated fire patterns, strategic withdrawal when necessary. Nothing works. The Devourers adapt within minutes. They learn our tactics faster than we can deploy them. We need. She paused, a gesture of humiliation among her people. We need new strategies. Unconventional thinking. Every eye in the chamber turned to the human delegation. Ambassador Victoria Chen sat quietly in the observers section. Humans were the newest members of the Galactic Council, having achieved faster-than-light travel only 47 years prior. They were tolerated but not particularly respected. Their technology was crude, their military doctrine antiquated by galactic standards, and their homeworld was a backwater planet that most species couldn't even pronounce correctly. Victoria activated her holographic interface. The United Earth Coalition has reviewed your tactical data on the Devourers. We'd like to help. Thelrix's skin flickered with what might have been hope. How many ships can Earth commit to the defense fleet? We need at least 1, Victoria interrupted. The chamber fell silent. 1, what? Thelrix asked carefully. 1 warship. The UEC Perseverance. She's already en route to the Epsilon sector. Zarkesh's mandibles spread in what humans had learned to recognize as incredulous laughter. 1 ship? Against a force that has destroyed 743 of our finest vessels? This is the human sense of humor we've heard about, yes? Victoria's expression didn't change. It's not a joke, Fleet Commander. The Perseverance is uniquely suited for this engagement. Uniquely suited? Thelrix's skin flashed angry crimson. 43 billion of my people are dead. This is not the time for. With respect, Ambassador, you came to us asking for unconventional thinking. The Perseverance is about as unconventional as it gets. Before anyone could respond, the chamber's central display activated, showing real-time tactical data from the Epsilon sector. Another Devourer fleet had emerged from dark space, descending on a VRYNN defensive position around the colony world of Threshold. 16 VRYNN battlecruisers moved to intercept, their formation textbook perfect. The Devourers tore through them in 8 minutes. Then something new appeared on the display. A single contact, small by capital ship standards. IFF transponder identified it as the UEC Perseverance. It's barely the size of a VRYNN destroyer, someone muttered. The Perseverance didn't slow as it approached the Devourer swarm. It didn't perform evasive maneuvers or attempt to establish a defensive perimeter. It simply accelerated, driving straight into the heart of the enemy formation. Suicidal, Zarkesh whispered. Then the Perseverance opened fire. The weapons that erupted from the human ship weren't plasma lances or particle beams. They were solid projectiles, magnetically accelerated slugs of depleted uranium traveling at a significant fraction of light speed. Primitive by galactic standards. The kind of kinetic weapons most species had abandoned centuries ago in favor of more elegant energy-based systems. The first Devourer construct took 3 slugs through its primary processing core. It didn't have shields because shields were designed to deflect energy weapons. The solid projectiles punched through its hull like paper. The Devourers adapted within seconds, reinforcing their armor plating. The Perseverance switched ammunition. The next volley was different penetrator rounds with depleted uranium cores designed to pierce armor, followed by secondary explosive packages. The Devourers adapted again. The Perseverance kept changing. Fragmentation rounds. Plasma-tipped penetrators. Slugs with quantum-entangled cores that created localized spatial distortions on impact. They're not using a consistent weapon system, Thelrix said, his scientific mind engaging despite his shock. They're randomizing their munitions. Not randomizing, Victoria corrected. Cycling through a library of approximately 47,000 distinct ammunition types, with real-time fabrication capability. Every shot is different. The Devourers can't adapt to a weapon system that never repeats. The Perseverance dove through the Devourer formation, its point defense systems, ancient-looking rotary cannons, creating a sphere of destruction around the ship. The Devourers tried to swarm it, tried to envelop it with their superior numbers. The human ship simply accelerated harder, its fusion drives burning at outputs that should have melted its own engines. Their thrust-to-weight ratio is impossible, Zarkesh said. That much acceleration should crush the crew. It would, Victoria agreed, if there was a crew. The Perseverance has a crew of 1. Commander Sarah Okonkwo. Former starfighter pilot. She's in a gel suspension pod at the ship's core, her neural interface directly controlling every system. Her body can handle 12G maneuvers that would kill anyone else on this station. The tactical display showed the Devourers attempting to withdraw, to regroup and analyze this new threat. The Perseverance didn't let them. It chased. When they tried to scatter, it split its attention, engaging multiple targets simultaneously with independent weapon systems. It wasn't fighting like a warship. It was fighting like a predator. 20 minutes after engagement, the Devourer force was destroyed. Not driven off. Not damaged. Completely annihilated. The Perseverance hung in space above threshold, its hull scorched and pitted, but intact. The council chamber remained silent for a long moment. How? Thelrix finally asked. How did you know that would work? Victoria smiled slightly. Because you've been fighting the Devourers with sophisticated, predictable strategies. Beautiful formations. Elegant tactics. The kind of warfare that evolved species develop over centuries of conflict with other evolved species. The Devourers are machines. They analyze patterns and adapt. They're brilliant at it. She pulled up a holographic image of Earth's history. Ancient battles. Medieval warfare. World wars fought with crude weapons and primitive tactics. Humans spent most of our history fighting wars with whatever we could build, steal, or improvise. We didn't have elegant weapon systems. We had rocks, then bronze, then steel, then gunpowder, then nuclear weapons. We learned to be unpredictable because we didn't have the luxury of sophistication. And we learned something else. She zoomed the display to show persistence hunting, humans chasing prey across African plains for hours, days, until the prey collapsed from exhaustion. We learned to chase. When you encounter something faster or stronger, you don't engage it on its terms. You chase it until it makes a mistake. You never let it rest. You never let it adapt. You just keep coming. Zarkesh's armor clicked thoughtfully. One ship. You sent one ship because you knew we needed to see it work before we'd believe it. Partially, Victoria admitted. Also because we only have 3 ships like the Perseverance. They're expensive, difficult to build, and require pilots crazy enough to hardwire their nervous systems into a weapons platform. 3 ships, Thelrix said quietly. If one can do that. The UEC is prepared to offer training to any species willing to adopt our tactical doctrine, Victoria said. Fair warning, it's not elegant. It's not honorable by most galactic standards. It's brutal, relentless, and completely unpredictable. It's war the human way. Zarkesh stood to her full imposing height. My species has fought with honor for 3,000 years. We have lost 10 million warriors in the last 3 years fighting the Devourers with that honor. She paused. Teach us your way. The votes came quickly after that. Unanimous support for the Human Tactical Integration Program. As the council adjourned, Victoria received a priority message from Commander Okonkwo aboard the Perseverance. Victoria, tell the council we're not heading home yet. Intercepted Devourer communications indicate a major fleet concentration in the Theta sector. I'm going hunting. Victoria smiled. Of course she was. That's what humans did. They didn't run from things that scared them. They chased them.